Hey guys, you're listening to Quarantined with Sofi, a podcast where I interview a bunch of you guys and get an insight of what your quarantine has been like and a chance to let others know your viewpoint too. I hope you guys like it.
All right. Hey, Emelysse. You want to introduce yourself to the people? Let them know who you are.
Okay, yeah. Hi, my name's Emelysse Paez. Do I say my last name? Whatever. Emelysse. And yeah, hi. How's everyone
Well,
doing?
thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thanks
I'm
for
really
inviting
excited.
me.
Of course,
I
I'm
am
super
too.
excited.
That's so professional.
I know. It's like we got our whole little
I
setup.
know. We should do this as a job or something.
Honestly, just wait, y'all. This podcast will
Just wait.
be on Spotify or anywhere you listen to podcasts soon. Don't worry about
Apple
it.
Music, podcast, everywhere.
There you go. All right. Well, are you ready? You ready to get into it?
I think so. I'm nervous. Why am I nervous?
It,
Anyways.
it you're gonna do great. Trust me. It's gonna be fun. It's almost like just having a normal conversation, which is a great part. Like it's the best part.
That exactly. And it's you. Like we talk all the time, so
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna start it off the same way I've started off the last two episodes. Um, just from the beginning, I guess. Like,
yeah.
what was, if you can remember, like, what was the last memory or like the last thing you did prior to like the official lockdown, like after
Mm.
school ended?
Um, okay, I guess this is so not good, but that week I skipped school like 3 times because I was so over it. Like I
Really?
told my mom, I was like, Mom, like I don't want to go to school. Like
Like the whole day or just half?
well, I would leave early,
Oh.
which is like don't do that. But I was just like, I was just not, I was feeling under the weather. Like that whole week just felt really weird. I feel like everybody felt that. Everyone just was like
Hmm.
really over school. But like I remember the last day I was hanging out with Johnny, Selena, and Marcus, and I think we went to
Hmm.
like Panda Express, and then we went to my house, and we were just like
Yeah.
really excited for school to be like ending,
Hmm.
which is yeah. And I think Olivia and Kristen both said this, but it was like a really gloomy day, and
Yes.
everyone was just like over, wanting to go to school, which is
I was,
terrible.
and but see, I was really sad. I think it has to do more about like perspective and like what's going on in your own life. Because for me, I was
Right.
like, I can't wait to go back to classes. Like, I don't want to leave.
Really?
Like, I want to. Well, mainly because I hadn't been going to classes and I was just so miserable.
Right. That's
So
right.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, and so I don't get me wrong, I was happy in the aspect that I wasn't gonna have to like struggle every day and like
Mm,
walk around with those sticks under my arms. But I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to go back to
right.
class. Like,
Right.
and it's weird because everyone talked to each other like, see you in two
No,
weeks. Like,
literally no one
no.
no one would have like thought. I remember I was doing the musical at the time,
Hmm.
and we like that day Mr. Fingerette, the musical teacher, if you didn't know,
Yeah.
he called us all into Highlander Hall, and
Hmm.
we like sat there, and he was like, the show will go on
Yeah.
like after the 2 weeks, like we're gonna go on, and he was like, and if it's longer, like we're doing it this year, like that's what he told us.
Hmm.
So we all had this mentality of like this could last longer than 2 weeks, but we're still gonna be like we're gonna continue on as normal, basically. Like
Yes.
we
Well,
didn't
this
anticipate.
actually leads into my next question because I know you like you and I we both like a lot of like like we had things like competitions and music aspects like in the music
Theater
aspect.
kids.
Yeah. Period. But how did this personally impact you because like for example with like Kristen and Olivia they didn't really have like electives where it was
Mhm.
like they had to do shows or competitions like
Right.
but with you you had not only the musical but as well it was comp season, so
Yeah.
how
Um,
was that like having everything canceled?
it was really sad, honestly,
Mhm.
because again, we had the mentality we're coming back in 2 weeks, and I remember we had just finished our first competition. Was it our first or our
Yes,
second? I
our
think it was our first.
first one.
Yes. So we had just finished our first competition, and we were really hyped to like keep going, and
Hmm.
like because it was a new group of kids in like show choir, for example,
Yeah.
and we were just really excited to like keep going with comp season because comp season like when you're practicing for things like this, it leads up to comp season because it's leading up to like a goal and like trophies and everything. And so when this news like broke to us, we were so sad. Like it was because it was like all this hard work had been for basically nothing because we didn't keep going. I know this was your first. No, this was your. No, this was your first comp.
Yeah,
season.
this was my very first comp season with show choir.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, so this was, and even then, like you had messed up your ankle, but you like you still experienced like the first comp, and I mean, there's just so much like hype and like you meet a bunch of kids and like everyone looks forward to that. And we also had like Disney coming up in May.
Yes.
Like, we get to go to Disneyland. That got canceled and like all of that. So it was just kind of like a like disappointment kind of feeling.
I know.
Like, we did all this work. I stay after school almost every single day working on the musical.
Yes.
And we didn't even get to do it. Like
I know.
I think it was like 2 or 3 months of me just like staying every day after school. Like, you know, just like I mean, it was good like experience, but we just didn't get to do the show. So
I know. And I remember I was like talking to like a couple of people about this. I was like, because I was like, oh yeah, bummer, school ended and stuff. But then I was like, oh my God, the musical. Because I remember almost every day after school, I would talk to you and we'd be like, or like the whole group would be like, hey, like, let's go like to Del Taco or whatever after school or wherever it be we wanted to go. But you always had rehearsals and it almost
like,
yeah.
I literally would always be like, oh, like I can stay with you guys for like 5 minutes, but I have to go to class. Like I have to go back.
Yeah. And I remember it got to the point where you were like, dude, honestly, like, I don't even want to go. Like I'm just so tired. But you said, I remember you were like, but you know what? It's okay. It'll be worth it because we'll get to do the musical. And then when it just didn't happen, I was like, all that. And it was just like, oh, I felt horrible.
It sucked. I mean, because a lot of the time, like I played, it was Shrek, which is like people like laugh because it's like Shrek. But I played the dragon, and I had one song, and then I was like like I didn't have that much to do. Like my part was important, but I wasn't in that many other numbers. Yeah. So when I would go, it would be for like nothing basically. Like I literally just go watch because our prior teacher, Miss Vincent, would just ask me to go, and a lot of that time was just me like watching and like like sitting there, or like her just putting me in random numbers so I would have more to do. Yeah. And so it was just like it was a lot of like I could have been doing so many other things, but I guess I just have to like be optimistic about it because I did get like the experience of like working with Mr. Fingerette, which I had never done before. But,
yes, again, I was very jealous of that. I would love to have Mr. Fingerette as a teacher. I've heard he's just great, just from what I've heard and like the few interactions I've had.
Yeah, he's a really great guy. He's so funny, and he kept me like high hopes, like he just kept telling us. And I think the other thing again was he told us like the show was gonna happen like this year. It's gonna happen like purpose, trust me. And I mean, it's still 2020, but like October now. And, like,
actually, I saw this on the Instagram page of Granada. Apparently, there's gonna be dancing with the staff. How is that gonna work?
Listen, I don't know how these teachers even are like learning the course.
Yeah.
Because
is it gonna be virtual or what?
I'm assuming. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. Are the couples like meeting up and like
I don't know. Because technically they can't make students or teachers do that because obviously
I was wondering
COVID.
That too. And it doesn't say anywhere on the flyer if it's like virtual.
No. It's just like buy your tickets and I'm just like, how is that gonna work?
I was like
and not gonna lie, it's actually really like I enjoyed it. I went last year and yeah. All right. Well, moving on to the next question. With like quarantine and everything, like, was there anything like? Because I've asked this to both Chris and Olivia, but because it's really a time, I guess, like soul searching, I guess, or like just finding out a lot. Like I just speaking for myself, like I have definitely felt like I've grown as a person. I've needed this time alone, just to think about everything, and like I feel like it's definitely helped me. Has like, has there been anything where you've like maybe discovered about yourself, like just maybe personally or like intellectually or maybe even music wise? Like, is
Mm-hmm.
there anything you learned about yourself?
Kind of. I don't really. Okay, definitely have learned a lot about myself for sure because you just spend so much time. Like at least for me, I spend a lot of time like in my room. Like
Mm-hmm.
I like changed my entire room, because I did not. When you're in your room for so long, you don't want to like stay in like a. You want to like where you're staying. So I
Yeah.
definitely changed my room up a lot. I don't know.
Didn't you put the
Definitely
pictures up during quarantine?
I did, and it took
Oh,
hours. Like,
yes. And for the
but
benefit of those listening, Emelysse actually has like a whole collage on her wall of like many pictures that all go together. It's
yeah,
very pleasing, aesthetically pleasing. I very like it.
aesthetic. No, yeah. I mean, I think at the beginning of everything, I was definitely focused on like I think everyone had this mentality of like, okay, we have this time, like let's glow up in a sense. Uh, so I definitely I started working out a lot.
Hmm.
I actually get because I was very. I mean, if you know me, I'm pretty petite. I'm kind of small. I'm very skinny.
Yes.
I was like,
She
I think I was like
snatched.
well, I'm like a stick, but like if you will, I mean, I guess. No, I weighed like 100 and like 14, 113
Hmm.
pounds at the beginning of quarantine, and I'm 121.
Oh,
So I
wow.
gained
Hmm.
some weight, which in like some people they're like, isn't that kind of bad? But I
Hmm.
think I gained it in like the right
You
places.
definitely did. Trust me. You
um,
still look great. You look fit. You look fabulous.
Thanks,
I'm
thanks.
here for it. I'm here
I
for
don't know
it.
if it was like intentionally. I've been eating a lot of junk food, which is kind of bad. But I mean that's how it like started out. But I think going into it, I definitely like not good. I got into like a very dark place because I was by
Mm,
myself a lot, kind of like in my thoughts too
yeah.
much, and like everything. I mean, I think a lot has changed for a lot of people.
Hmm.
But I think like my mentality for things has I've become a lot more of like a pessimist, which is bad, which is why
Hmm.
I'm trying to like be more optimistic about things because I
Yeah.
caught myself when it was getting bad.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm trying to like get closer with like myself, get more into myself, learn more about like try to be with myself because
Hmm.
I think a lot of the time before in the past, and I think you know this, I like beat myself up a lot when people wouldn't invite me places or
Yeah.
like when like
Yeah. Yeah.
everybody wants to feel wanted, but I feel
Uh-huh.
like I just have been taking more of this time to like feel like I can be my own best friend and stuff like
Hmm.
that, which is like it's getting there. It's getting there every now and
Yeah.
then, but yeah, I think that's like the one thing I have to like work on a lot.
No,
Get more in tune
yeah.
with myself.
100%. Because, like, with this time alone, like, you have to learn how to, like, be on your own because
Mm-hmm.
obviously no one expected this to happen. No one expected to not be able to see everyone they know and love. But like, I'm not saying like something like this is going to happen again, but clearly it happened once, so it's a possibility for it to
Exactly.
happen again.
Exactly.
But it's important to know that, hey, I can function on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's important. We're human. We need human interaction. It's important. It's a part of living, right? But
Mm-hmm.
we should also be able to like be independent in times like this where we
Exactly.
can't go out and see other people. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I like the way you put it, like learning to be your own best friend
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
it's such a cliche saying, but it's like you have to love yourself before like you can
Exactly.
love others.
Definitely. I mean, I feel like with everything I've learned to like you can have fun on your own. I've
Mhm.
like okay. So I've been learning how to drive like places and obviously I can't drive by myself, but my
Mhm.
dad will like let me go like around the park or whatever and I'll park and I'll just be like with myself. I'll bring like food and like play music and just like be with myself, I guess.
Mhm.
Um and I've tried slowly to like cut some people out of my life and
Oh.
and I feel like that's helped a lot because I feel like and I think Kristen said this, but I think the people that you surround yourself with are going to make a very big impact. And
Mhm.
so I wasn't necessarily and no, I was definitely surrounding myself with this particular person and I know you know who I'm talking about.
Yes, I
And
do.
I've definitely like I don't hang out with them anymore. I haven't texted them. I haven't,
Oh
just because I
wow.
realized like they're probably going to be the people that are not going to be the best influence on me or others,
Mhm.
and it definitely showed. And
Mhm.
it was definitely affecting my mood and the way I was acting towards like my parents, my
Mhm.
brothers. So I think the people you surround yourself definitely affect
Mhm.
my mood for sure.
Yeah.
But speaking of, I have two brothers. If you didn't know,
Yes.
I
Shout out
have
to
two
Johnny and
brothers.
Jason.
Shout out to Johnny and Jason. But like, if you knew me before quarantine, you definitely knew that like Jason and I would fight so much, like to the
Yes.
point where my mom's a therapist, and she was like, you guys need therapy for this. You need like almost like a couples therapy type of thing, where like we just
Mhm.
needed to sit in a room and like talk out our feelings. That's how bad it was
Mhm.
getting.
Yeah.
Um, and I think for quarantine when it happened at like the best moment, I guess. And I don't want to say that because I feel super insensitive because
Mhm.
of everybody who's like
Yeah.
lost their lives. But I feel like it's brought us a lot closer together because we've had to be like we've been forced
Mhm.
to like be with each other because we live together and everything. But we're like very close now, and like I feel like I can talk to him about a lot of things, and like just like we
Yeah.
don't fight
Mhm.
not that much anymore. So
Well, speaking of like family and stuff, you kind of answered my next question, which was like, has quarantine like strengthened your relationship not only with your brothers, but maybe with your parents too, or like made you reevaluate other relationships, which yeah, like you said, you have. But like, is
definitely.
is there like, what do you aside from like having to spend so much time with each other,
Mhm.
but like has there been anything that has like brought you guys closer together, maybe just like the shared worry of like not knowing what's going to happen, or
Mhm.
just anything in particular?
Um, I feel like Jason has been a very reserved person, like about his
Mm-hmm.
feelings. Oh my God, tea exposed.
T-
Somebody write this down. No, I mean, if you know him and if you know like the way he expresses emotions about like people or like the
mm-hmm.
way he feels like liking girls,
Yes.
and I'm sorry, I'm not gonna cuss. Okay, liking girls and stuff.
Go ahead,
He's
you're
been
free.
very like he's been very like closed off about
Yeah.
who he likes and everything, and I feel like it's brought us together. He always asks like Johnny and I for advice on like
Mm-hmm.
what to do and like, little things like that, which is like he's never been able to do that before. Like he's always only told Johnny or like
Yes.
he's only told his friends.
Uh-huh.
And so like that's brought us together. And I've also been hanging out with his friends a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more, and like they've introduced me to people safely. Everything's safe, please. Safely. But like I've been hanging out with a couple of his friends, like trying to understand like where they come from, because
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the time before I'd be like, oh, I don't really want to hang out with them, like they're not my crowd.
Yeah.
So like I've been learning more about him and like the way his brain works and stuff like
Mm.
that, and yeah, it's brought us closer together for sure.
Oh. Well, and you brought up Johnny, and I just want to say a quick little thing. Johnny looks amazing.
Yes, he does. I was gonna
This.
show him this.
Oh my God. Is he at home? Is he?
I think he's taking a driver's test. Let me check. Life
Okay.
360, parents, off of your kids'
Well,
lives.
in the
Just
meantime, I just want John. Props to you, Johnny. You look. I mean, you already look fabulous before, but you got the hair going now. And
mm-hmm.
you look great. Like, dog,
Great.
I
See,
give
okay,
you an
if you're
applause.
listening to this, Johnny, I told you my friends think you look so good now. So
Yes.
take my word for it
Yes.
because you
Well,
do.
okay. Well, I don't say like we think he looks good
Okay,
now, because
no,
we've always thought he looked great, but just you
just
gotta give him
glow
props.
up. You glue up. You took the time, and yeah. Johnny used to be okay. I don't know if I knew this. Johnny used to be bigger. Okay. Johnny used to be a chunky monkey. He used to be a big cuddly bear. Okay. I loved it. I loved it. I literally loved it. Everybody loved it. Johnny was just like a
Yes.
very huggable,
Yes.
like sweet guy. Still is.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knew him as like that, like just a very kind, like huggable
Yes.
teddy bear.
Yes.
He lost, I think he lost like 40 pounds, and it's still going down
Wow.
to this day. Like it's insane. I know like people will see him and be like, "Oh my God, he's so skinny now!" Like what? Like
Yes.
he's a lot. I think he's a little bit taller now too.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh
like
wow.
he's like dropped a bunch of weight and dyed his hair, and like
I love the
he's
hair. The
living.
hair really
Yeah,
works with his
he's living.
complexion. It's nice.
Right, it's like a caramelly blonde.
Mhm.
You know, he's rocking it. He loves it, so it's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like eating a lot better, just like living like a clean, healthy lifestyle. So it's good.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love
He's
that
like,
for him.
I would love to do that. We're literally at the dinner table, and he's like, "Mom, no rice, no bread." I'm like,
No bread, no
"Give
carbs.
me it.
No
I want it." Like,
carbs. Well, moving on to the next question. Like, do you, like with quarantine, I mean, obviously life is very different now, but you still kind of have like a little bit of a normal to it, in the sense that you still like occasionally will see like Kristen or like Olivia or whatever, right? But like,
definitely.
is there anything in particular that like you miss from like life before quarantine? Not necessarily, okay, I'm gonna exclude like, oh, hanging out with friends and so, because obviously we miss things like that, but I mean, like,
Mhm.
is there something, because for, so Olivia knows this about me, I don't know if you do, but I very much enjoy the little things in life. Like, there's just little things that
Mhm.
just make me happy, like maybe the sound of a candle, or like a certain
Yes.
smell. Like, is there anything, just a small little thing that you used to do all the time that you just miss now?
Okay, well, excluding like seeing you, because that's
Mhm.
literally what I was gonna say. I haven't seen you in the
I know,
longest.
it's been forever.
Um, I miss you so much, but I think like being in like, okay, this is like so like, oh, you're a singer, but
Mm.
like going to class to sing, because
Yes.
we're in show choir right now, if you
Yes.
guys didn't know.
Oh.
But like we're literally like muted, and you can't hear
Mhm.
anybody else sing except the teacher, and it's just so different, I guess, and I don't like it. Like,
Mhm.
and like we're still like making music, but we literally have to send like individual recordings, and like it's just very different. I've definitely lost touch of that, like singing and stuff. I kind of just got into it again,
Mhm.
maybe like a month or two ago. I was so unmotivated to like keep singing, and like I wouldn't even sing in the shower. Like
Mhm.
that's how, like, I just did not like feel like
Wow.
singing.
Wow.
Um but you know, like little things like being with a group
Yeah.
of people and singing, or
I
like, you know, making music. Like I just
yeah.
think like that was like something that was so enjoyable.
100%. Like, with school starting up again, I thought like, oh, like I'm gonna be in show choir. Well, finally, G notes, which I'm so happy about. Don't get me wrong, I'm so grateful I'm in the class,
You deserve it. You
but well,
definitely deserve
thank
it.
you. But being in the class now, it's just, it's not that I don't like it, but it's just, it I lost the
Hmm.
interest of
Yeah.
going to class, because it's
No,
like,
I completely agree. I mean, show choir was like my favorite class to go to, because it didn't even feel like a class. Like it just felt like going to see my friends and like making music together. Like
mhm,
it didn't feel like a chore, or like besides when we had like quizzes. But I just loved that class so much, and like it's just lost that like, oh, you get to go see your friends, and like,
yeah.
you know, like, because it's a new teacher too this
Mhm.
year, and I
Love
really
her.
like
Shout
her.
out to
Love
her.
her.
She's great.
Dr. Balfour, she's awesome. Uh, she's a really. I feel like it would just be like, because I already like her, and it's over Zoom. So
Mhm.
imagine like us being in person.
Yes.
Um, I just think it would be so good for us, and so
100%.
like we're not doing that. But yeah,
I
it's
know, and like,
one of those
I'm not
things.
gonna lie, like, I hate to say this, but like, I I slightly dread going to that class,
Mm-hmm.
because it's one, obviously it's so early in the morning,
Oh
and
yes,
you're just so exhausted, and you're
every.
like, I don't want to do this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we're not even singing. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like there have been times where I'm just like, you know what, no, and I just mouth. I don't even sing.
Oh,
Like, I'm just
oh
like,
yeah. Oh, definitely.
and it's
And like the
like,
thing is like it's 100% true. I mean, I know some school like there's this boy named Dylan. He goes to a different school. I think he goes to Chatsworth.
yes.
He starts at 9,
Mm-hmm.
and even
Oh,
then
that'd
he
be great.
still wakes up like 5 minutes
Yes.
before, because
I
we just
know.
have that luxury now of just like being
Yeah.
able to like put the Chromebook on our bed and just
Yeah.
like, you don't sometimes I don't turn my camera on a lot
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
time because
100%.
I don't want to. And so like that's just like, it sucks, honestly.
I
It
know.
honestly does. And like I keep like, that's the thing. It's like at the beginning of all this, I
Hmm.
especially think everybody was, most people were like, oh, like I can't wait for us to not be in school. And now I'm just like, that's the only thing I want to
I
do.
want to go back.
I want to go back to school so
Yes.
bad.
Yes.
And
Yes.
like, my brother's friend, my friend too, his name is Nick. he goes to a very small school. I think he
Mhm.
has like 500 kids,
Oh
maybe
wow.
less. So they're going back the 26th of October. Yeah, this year.
What?
They're going back. Obviously, masks, social
Yeah.
distancing will be enforced and everything, but they're going back. And I'm so jealous. Like, I'm so
Oh my
jealous
god.
because obviously, and I think it's gonna be so much more difficult for Granada because
Mhm.
we have so many kids.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
so overpopulated as it is, like
yeah,
right now. Like I have a photo. I'll see if I can find it and I'll post it on the Instagram if you guys want to check that out. But it's literally a photo seconds after the bell has rung, and it is already packed with people. Like there's no space. Like it's ridiculous.
I mean, I just remember like going to class and being like
Squish, literally
thinking
bumping
like
into people, having to squeeze
I
through
know.
people.
And so, like, you think, and like, I'll talk to like these kids that go to the smaller school, and I'm like, oh, how much time do you guys have in between bell?
Hmm.
And they're like 4 minutes, 5 minutes. We
What?
have 7 minutes because there's so many kids. It's such a big campus, and we need to get to the places. We literally have 7 minutes to get stuff.
It takes me 5 minutes just to go up the stairs in L
Yeah,
building. Like,
exactly.
not even
Like,
exaggerating.
I'll be like running, especially because of our like tardy policy, which is
Yes.
another thing. It like now we have like that leeway of like
Yes,
5 minutes
the 5 minutes.
after.
But even then, teachers get mad. Like, what the hell is up with that? Like, you're gonna give me 5 minutes to get to class, but you're still gonna get mad if I'm even a
What
minute
2 minutes?
into
Yeah,
that?
exactly. They're like, I'm not gonna mark you here. I'm like, what about the 5 minutes? That's literally on
Yeah.
the rules now. I don't understand, but yeah, I don't even.
Ridiculous.
Do you? I'm asking you a question now.
All right. Yeah. Oh, how the tables have turned.
Do you get ready like for school now?
Okay, here's let me just okay. This is now Emelysse's podcast, y'all. But um
Yeah.
so here's my thing. So at the beginning, like the first week, I wasn't even tired when I woke up, okay? Like I would wake up like maybe 30 to 40 minutes before
Yeah.
class, and I wouldn't even be tired. That's the thing. And I would get ready, do my hair, maybe put on some mascara, just look presentable, right?
Right.
And then I'd be ready for class. I'd be like, oh my God, hey guys, like, let's do this thing. And then after, I'm not kidding, 1 week, it's like a switch just went off in me. And just even waking up 10 minutes before class, I can't do it.
You're
I
like too
can't.
early.
No. After that 1 week, up until this point, I do not get ready for class. I could care less about what people think of me, like, on through a screen. Like,
Frankly, I think half of my
no.
class is sleeping most of the time.
Yeah.
Or they're
Like,
just like not, or they're like you'll have your phone and they're just
yes.
on. They're
Yes,
like,
or like everyone's got their hoodies on, like these LED lights, like just half asleep, and it's
literally
just
my
I don't
lights are
care.
always at like 2%. They're
Hmm.
super dim, and I
Hmm.
have my hoodie on. And if I look like a boy, mind your business because
Exactly.
I
Mind
don't
your business.
I don't have time.
Because every who cares? Everyone's focused on themselves. Like I guarantee. Okay, I know this is gonna sound vain, but like I do this, and I guarantee you, almost everyone else does this too. Most of the time you're in that class, you're not looking at anyone else. You're staring at yourself in that little box trying to see what you look like.
Like half the time, my screen. Okay, I know some people like can't see, but it's
Mhm.
like this. I don't like it's like. And then if my teacher tilts it, I'll be like, you can see my face now.
Yeah.
Like you just can't like.
See, my teacher has such a strict rule. They're like, I have to see your whole face. The second you turn off your camera, I am marking you absent. And I'm just like, dog,
Yeah.
you don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. Let's make this as easy as possible. Like, just
What
let
do
me
they
do my
make it?
thing.
Yeah, I have no idea how.
All right. Well, moving on to the next question. This is more of like a global issue, I guess. But so with the pandemic, obviously, there's been like a lot of things like such as like the Black Lives Matter movement, or like just people have just become more socially aware of things going on. Um, has this like everything happening and like with the pandemic and just all these movements have well, hold on, I want to rephrase. I don't want to say like the Black Lives Matter movement started. It just obviously it's been a thing for a very long time, but there was definitely like a huge wave recently. But has this like made like do you think you care more now about like politics and like just uh global issues? Has it changed at all?
Mhm. I feel like I've always been a little bit interested in
Mm-hmm.
like female empowerment and then like
Yes.
racial empowerment and everything like that. I've definitely always been. I've had a little spark of interest, but
Mm-hmm.
since quarantine, it's definitely grown like a
Mm-hmm.
lot.
Yeah.
I think especially with like the dynamic that like my family has and like so specific people that I surround myself like Olivia and I know you,
Mm-hmm.
Kristen, like we all um you know we post things on like our Instagram story, which is like it's a little thing, but
Yeah.
like I think me including uh, others including me, we've definitely tried to educate ourselves a lot more
Yes. Mm-hmm.
about these issues. Like the especially since like 2020, we have a whole election coming up,
Mm-hmm.
and so I think like 4 years ago, eighth grade was the last time we had an election, and I did not care.
Mm-hmm.
Like I knew Trump was a bad person, but like I was
Yeah.
just like he's not gonna win. Like
Yeah,
I'm
I'm not kidding. Everyone was like, hell no, no way. He's
and
not gonna win. And then boom, like, okay, I'm not gonna name names, but there is a person you and I both know that voted for Trump, and I'm just like,
I know who you're
wh-
talking about. I think
yeah. I think you know who I'm talking about. Obviously it's an older person, but I was just so shocked to hear this, and I was like,
yeah.
wow, like,
hmm No, it's crazy. It's also crazy how like the world views him because
yes.
I'm Cuban, half Cuban.
Uh-huh.
Cubans love him, absolutely adore him.
Are you
There's a whole
serious?
song where it's like, "Yo voy a votar por Donald Trump." And then, like,
No.
my dad listens to it, and I'm like, "You better not be listening to that song." And he's like, "No, no, no, it's the beat. Like he likes the beat or whatever." Like Cuban, like like
Catchy. Yeah.
merengue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's catchy, but like I'm always like
No.
no, like
No.
we don't vote, you know. I
Yeah.
wish I was old enough to vote because
Yeah.
I definitely would.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely a lot of awareness has been brought to my attention, and like I just want to keep educating myself.
Mm-hmm.
Hard times. It definitely like politics nowadays is super skewed left or right.
Mm-hmm.
It should be more balanced, more in the middle.
Yeah.
There's specific things that I agree with left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Not everything, specific things, but
Yeah.
it's just difficult. I definitely wouldn't have been like this. I feel like if quarantine didn't happen, I think I
Mm-hmm.
would have been like I don't care that much because I'm not
Yeah.
whatever. I think I definitely have that mentality more.
100%. Like, I know before, like, the last election, yes, obviously, like, I was
Really
invested in it because it was a big deal. Like, Trump was running, and like, however, I I wasn't, I'm not, I guess, as interested this as like now, because yes, I remember like there were like they had the debates obviously and all that, but versus this year now, like I've actually taken the time and like watched all of them, and or so far there's only been
two.
two, but
Mm-hmm.
before I would just hear whatever my parents told me or like on the news, right? But now with just the way things are now, I definitely feel like 100% I've like taken the time to like educate
Exactly.
myself, learn more about what's going on in the world, and actually like caring, and like
Mm-hmm.
because when I don't want to say like it's a whole age thing, because hell, I know some people who are my age and are more mature than most of these
Right.
older people right now who
Mm-hmm.
for some reason get to vote, whatever. But it's just, I feel like with me personally, because I was younger, I felt like, well, I can't vote, so there's nothing I can
Yeah.
really do about it. But that's just such an ignorant viewpoint.
No,
And
I feel
now,
like I was exactly the same. I was
yeah.
definitely more like I wasn't as inclined
Hmm.
to care,
Yeah.
because I wasn't old enough to. I felt like I wasn't old enough to do anything. I felt
Yeah.
like I couldn't make a change in the world
Yeah.
because of my age, especially
Hmm.
4 years ago because I was 13, and that's
Hmm.
when he was running. And I was just listening to like whatever I heard on the street. I was like, "Oh, Donald Trump's a bad
Hmm.
person. Cool. Like, I'll agree with that."
Anyways, okay, so we're getting towards the end of our interview here. So I'm gonna, I know, I'm so sad, tragic. But I'm gonna switch it up to a lighter tone. All right,
Yeah.
because we've had enough about the whole politics and just the whole COVID and just really bad things happening. So I started this last week's episode with Kristen, and I call it, what did I call it? Rapid fire. I called it rapid fire. So I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions, okay? And then just say the first thing that comes to your mind. Just anything, okay? Okay, so first off, favorite comfort food?
Pizza, definitely pizza.
Favorite movie?
The Notebook. I just watched it.
Oh, such a good movie.
So good.
We'll come back to that. Favorite song at the moment?
Super Rich Kids, Frank Ocean, so good.
Favorite TV show?
Gossip Girl. Kristen said that. Okay, Gossip Girl or Zumbo's Dessert something.
Oh,
like that.
I've heard of that. Okay. Favorite book?
I don't read. The Bible. I needed it in the time.
Oh, good. That's a good answer. That's a good. I respect your answer. I respect your answer.
Prayer.
All right. And favorite pastime?
Singing like my lungs out. Literally singing. Just in my room.
That's a good one. All right. Well, you definitely. No offense to you, Kristen, but you definitely went a lot faster than Kristen did.
Oh my god.
Which is great. All right. Well, so we're moving on. We're kind of towards the end, but so what are your predictions for life? Maybe just your own life, or the world, or just in general. What do you think is next?
I mean, obviously trying to stay hopeful. It seems like things are kind of getting back to like the normal flow of things. I was actually talking to my dad about this, but like I remember the first time I left my house, there was not that many cars on the street versus like now.
Yeah.
Like everybody seems to be going out. Obviously, like I know like social distancing is going to be in place for a while. I know for myself at least, I'm going to be very uncomfortable getting next to like strangers and like too close and everything like that. I always find myself like, oh, like you're like, too close to me now, you know?
Yeah.
But before I really wouldn't care. I hope the election goes the way most people in California want it to go.
Yes. God, please.
Literally, please.
Please, I beg of you.
Just because that's our future. That's literally our future.
Yeah.
And I feel like
So for those of you listening and you can vote, vote. For the love of God, vote. Please.
We're 17. We can't vote.
Yes,
Okay?
I know.
Do it. Yeah, please vote. I think we act like we're like, I'm a YouTuber now, okay? Like, no, I just hope things get better. It seems like they somewhat are. I feel like a lot of people are educating themselves a lot more about worldly issues, like everything that's happening in Armenia and like all of that.
Yes.
Black Lives Matter, everything, you know, all of that stuff. So I hope things will get better in that sense. And
all right. Well, do you have any words for the people? Maybe advice, or just want to let them know what you're up to? Anything at all?
Vote. We've said it already.
Yes.
Vote. Please vote. Like genuinely. Something about vote early, not November 2nd, because mail in now.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's it. Love you guys.
Right. Well, actually, there's one more thing. This is for you, okay? So, is there anything you want to tell future Emelysse? Maybe you'll come back and listen to this in a few months or maybe a year, whenever. Is there anything you want to ask yourself or let yourself know? Just anything?
This is really random, but I'll say more, I guess. I'm getting my hair relaxed tomorrow. Don't, you know.
Ooh.
Hopefully it doesn't fall out. Let me know if it does, because if it does, it'll be bad. I think don't be so peer pressured into doing things that you don't want to do, because we've all had our weaknesses and being caught in a moment of weakness. I hope you're thriving and optimistic about things, and I hope the world is a lot better.
That's
and
good.
Have a better relationship with your family, because right now it's a little rocky. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
And meet up with Sofi.
Yes. Future Emelysse, if you're listening to this, I hope we met up by now. Oh, Johnny! Hey!
Oh, I don't think Johnny can hear you.
Oh, yeah, he can't hear me. All right. Well, guys, if you don't know, Johnny, Emelysse's brother, is here. Looking great, looking fresh.
Yeah, you smell really good. Okay. Anyways, bye, Johnny.
All right. Well, Emelysse, thanks for being on, man. I had a great time. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did. I want to keep talking. Oh my gosh, it was so fun.
Oh, well, you wanna give a quick plug where let the people know where they can find you?
Yeah, sure. It's at Emelysse on every platform, I think, except like Twitter. Emelysse underscore, I think. I don't know. I don't use Twitter that much. I need to start. Yeah, Emelysse is how you spell the name.
All right. And if you guys wanna find little behind the scenes snippets or cutouts from this, or just pictures that we've mentioned in the podcast, you can find that at quarantined.wsophie on Instagram. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Follow her.
exactly,
Really
yeah. And tune in next week. Guest is still TBD. We will see who it is. So that'll be a little bit of surprise.
Imagine.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever you want.
All right. Well, Emelysse, thank you for being here. I had a great time. And thanks for listening, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. So tune in next week on Monday night.
Yes, love it. Oh my
All
gosh.
right. Bye, guys.
Ew.